Before you do, did either Charlie or where's Dan? Did either one of you record the professional advisory committee meeting? Or is there a transcript or was it recorded?
There's a transcript. Yeah, Debbie.
Oh, that's right. Debbie was there.
Yeah, that's why.
Okay. Okay, Art, as soon as I get that, unless you also get it, if I see your name on it, I'll know you got it. As soon as that comes, I'll forward that. And thank you so much for taking notes. Thank you. And how is everybody? Charlie Cantor, why can't we see you, Charlie?
I've been collecting stuff, and among the things collected, I know we're got an opportunity coming up with the law enforcement groups. I got a couple of demonstration stickers here for people to put on their cars. I've got one on mine. Hearing assist drivers. I've got similar stickers. I've got one on mine that go on the back of your driving license that identifies you. And I've got a couple of stickers that should be on the front door of your house that warns any EMTs or emergency responders that there's a hearing impaired person in the building who may not respond to calls and alertness checks and so forth.
Where do you get those?
I've got one on my house, and my grandson put me onto all this stuff. He's an EMT down in Washington or in Houston. He's just moved. But
Eric,
yeah.
Barb had a question. She asked, where did you get those and how would we get them?
I got them from online from an outfit called Etsy, ETSY.com.
Oh.
And they've got stickers for all kinds of things, for hearing impaired, for autism, for you name it.
Eric, do they have any updated ones that say people with hearing loss instead of hearing impaired people?
No.
Okay, sounds like you've checked on that.
I guess you know my opinion on that too. If you want protection from the ADA, you gotta call it a disability.
Folks, I've got to do my quick introduction just because I just want to make sure that everybody can see the captions. The automated captions are on. And can everybody hear? And this is good. The topics we're talking about, I know it doesn't relate directly to technology, but it certainly is important. So we can just go ahead. Loren was going to again bring up some items in the virtual demo center and see if anybody has any issues once they're prompted. Sometimes when you see the pictures of devices, you might be prompted to ask some questions, or if anybody has any issues they want to share with us. Loren, I made you a co-host. And by the way, Sue, you asked, where is Dan? Dan sent a message. He had an audiology appointment at 11:30 today, and he was going to try to jump in once he arrives back home.
Great. Thanks, Charlie. I still want to know why we can't see Charlie Cantor from North Shore. Charlie, why can't we see you? Charlie, you're muted.
He's awesome. Yeah, he's muted. Yeah.
Charlie, you're muted and we can't see you. Come and join us.
I can see him, but I can't hear him.
Well, a lot of people.
Oh, there's Charlie. No. It switched. And who is Jim K?
I give up. Charlie Cantor is coming in.
Jim, we are getting video from you, but you wouldn't happen to have a piece of tape over your camera. That's happened. Yep. there you
Yay!
go. Post-it note.
He's still muted though.
Yeah, you're muted, Jim. You need to activate your microphone.
There you go.
There we,
Better.
okay.
Okay,
Jim,
Jim.
tell us where you're from.
Where am I from?
Yeah.
I'm from West Walworth.
Okay,
Oh,
great.
that's east of, well, no, never mind. I'm just trying to be funny.
Most of us know where that is.
Well, what's the point of discussion here today?
Um,
I used to live in Syracuse and they say that's a great place to be from.
Oh, yeah? If you like Syracuse, you like Syracuse.
First of all, Jim, can you see the captioning that's coming across the screen?
No, I don't.
Okay, if you go down to the bottom controls,
Yep,
right next to, you'll see a CC button, and right next to it, there's a little tiny up arrow that you click on, and then you want to click on Show Subtitle.
I don't see a CC.
Just click. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Towards the right side of the menu, it says live transcript.
It might say Live Transcript underneath the button.
no, I don't see that. I see more
See more. Okay, click on More. It's hidden, that's why.
subtitle settings, view.
Yeah.
Uh,
You want to click on
Show subtitle.
Show Subtitle.
Okay, that makes sense.
And now it should bring up the captions across the bottom of the screen.
I don't see, well, what am I looking for?
You should be seeing captions across the
Yeah,
bottom.
yeah, I see the captions. Yep,
Okay, that's all I wanted to be sure of.
okay.
What we're going to be doing today is asking Loren to give us another overview of the virtual demo center. Since we can't be in person, he has a virtual one, and we're going to use it. Maybe if you see something that brings to mind, if there's some issues you want to discuss, then we can all chime in. So Loren, why don't you go ahead?
All right. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll just review very quickly again how you get to the demo center. And you start at our chapter's website, hearinglossrochester.org. And then when you get to that site, which is this, you click on this little box on the upper right, which is called Virtual Demo Center. And that will take you to a new page, which talks about not just the virtual demo center, but also the live demo center that we, in normal times, we have open the third Thursday of every month from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. at the Lifespan location on South Clinton. So we created the virtual demo center so that people could see without having to visit. But I'm going to click on this little icon here, which says VDC, Virtual Demo Center. And that will take us to the page. And we click on, there's a little bit of an introduction here if you want to take a look at these the first time you visit. And then, but if you just want to go straight to the devices, you click on that red bar, and then you'll see all these images. You'll take into a page with 8 images on it. And each image has information contained behind it, so to speak. You click on the image and you'll take a deeper dive into what that's about. There are demo center devices, which we're going to talk about today, and then some other devices that we don't have in the demo center. We can only we only have a limited amount of space in there, and we have about 30 devices, but there are hundreds of devices, literally hundreds of devices available on the web. There are also devices that you can get from the manufacturers of your hearing aids if you wear hearing aids or a CI. And so you can click on that image and it'll take you to a list of manufacturers and their devices. Then if you have a smartphone, there are a number of apps these days that help people with hearing loss. And so you can find out about some of them, a small number of them, by clicking here. Then over-the-counter hearing aids are becoming popular, and they're going to become more popular as we go on. So we expect a lot of people will be asking us questions about, what do I buy? How do I know what to buy in terms of over-the-counter hearing aids? So this gives you a little more information. We haven't got to that point yet. We're starting to talk about specific makes and models, but our intent is to learn about them and be able to give good advice on what to look for. There's a learning center where you can see some videos that explain hearing loss and also explain something about assisted listening systems. And then if you're looking for a place to go, if you have a telecoil in your hearing aid or your CI, you wonder, well, where can I go to make use of that? And you can click on hearing friendly venues and you'll find a whole list of churches and other organizations that have a assistive listening environment. And finally, just a couple purchasing resources that we've had experience with. So having said that, I'm going to click on Demo Center Devices image. Am I cutting out at all, my voice, or are you able to hear me clearly?
So far, so good, Lauren.
Okay, good. I just had a message pop up that says I have low system resources, and I'm glad it's not affecting them. So we've arranged the devices that we have in the demo center into, I think it's 5 categories. The first one is personal listening and accessories. And by the way, the accessories or listening devices that you see may fit in other categories as well, but for simplicity, we're going to put them in the category, or we have put them in the category where they're most likely to be used. So there's a device here, Pocket Talker, which is a listening device. There's an FM-based listening device here that has a transmitter and receiver for listening in situations where maybe you're in a classroom and you can't hear the speaker. Well, if you knew about that beforehand, you would just hand this transmitter to the speaker and the speaker would clip it on their vest or their shirt somewhere. And then you would carry this with you and plug headphones into it, or you may plug a personal hearing neck loop into it. And then you could hear very clearly. For sittings around or gatherings around a table, you could use a conference microphone that would work, let's say, with a product like the Pocket Talker, or a shotgun mic that you can sort of point at people to single out somebody's voice in a crowd. These things don't work perfectly. They still pick up background noise, but they do help. And then there are some newer devices which go a step beyond what some of the others do in actually tailoring what you hear to your hearing loss. So in a way, they're like an introductory set of hearing aids. And actually all 3 of these devices do that, if you can see my cursor. And then there's a little device that allows you to connect to the TV. This connects to your TV audio output, and these devices will pick that up. So you can send the TV's audio directly into your ears for your own private listening. Another category, and by the way, if anybody wants to interrupt me as we're going along, you have a question or a comment, just please do it. Hearing on the phone, there are a number of devices that you can use. these first two connect to a standard old AT&T type phone with the coiled cord on it, and will amplify the voice, and also has a tone control, which might help people a little bit to accent or accentuate the higher frequency tones in the voice, which is where most of us with hearing loss tend to have our problems in those high frequencies. Then
Lauren,
yes,
I assume that those two devices would not work on a cell phone.
that's correct.
Okay.
This one will work on a cordless phone. You can sort of put it over the speaker, on the headset. This one, though, needs actually a desk type phone that has a coiled cord. And then one end of that coil cord plugs into this, and another wire from here plugs into the phone. And then there are amplified phones themselves, which can work pretty well if you have a mild or even a moderate hearing loss. These two are desk phones, and this one is a cordless one. They also have tone controls, and they have volume buttons to this one really boosts the volume to very high levels. And then going a step beyond that, there are caption phones. If you really have a lot of trouble hearing on the phone and nothing just seems to work, well, maybe you're ready for a caption phone, which shows you in text what the other person is saying. These are available free of charge if you qualify and you need an audiologist or your doctor's signed recommendation that says your hearing loss is bad enough. If that happens, you go through the steps that are needed, and somebody knocks on your door one day and says, I have a phone here and I'm going to install it for you. So that works pretty easily. The only thing you have to pay for, like you always do, is you have to pay for your calls. But you don't pay for the captioning. That's paid from a fund, a government fund. The next category is hearing loop devices. And if you're familiar with hearing loops, and you maybe know that you have a telecoil in your hearing aids, or you have a CI and you have a telecoil in that, or if you have a hearing loop receiver and you don't have hearing aids, you can use like this thing right here, the induction loop receiver. You don't have hearing aids, so you plug a headset into this. And if you're in a looped environment, an environment where there's an induction loop, you can just listen to what's being said, even if you're remote from the speaker, and be able to hear every word very clearly.
Charlie, Lauren, I have another question. The one to the left of that, the portable info loop, that blue logo, I'm just curious, is because we're talking about having more cards like that printed. Do you know, is there any way you can tell what it says above the line on the top and the line on the bottom? I can obviously see the ear and then the big T for telecoil, but what's the language above and below?
I could show you that if I could find, I'm just going to click here to another, excuse me, and look back at history.
Because I think what they have at our printer is it can be updated.
I had downloaded an image of it. Here we
Oh,
go. Here it is.
great.
No, that's not it. The wrong one. I'm sorry. Okay. Well, I can't find it right offhand, so I'm not.
Okay. Well, if after the meeting, if you happen to
Yeah.
I'll make a note.
Right. And it says, when I looked at the picture, it said something like, this facility is equipped with a hearing loop. Enable the telecoil in your hearing aids.
Yes, but now don't we want to increase that hearing aid / cochlear implant? Because people with a cochlear implant
Well, we
can
can
benefit
discuss
from
that.
that.
Yeah, we can discuss that before.
Yes.
We do it, right. But it does have some information at the bottom, so that's good. And, it's a thing I guess we should point out every time we have a meeting, is that people should look for that sign in the facility, because that'll tell them that they have a hearing loop. So by the way, just a quick plug for Wegmans. They have installed a number of these devices at their, they have them at the pharmacy counter, they have them at their customer service counter, and they also have them in some number of their checkout lanes. So anyway, that's that. And then for people who are profoundly hard of hearing or even deaf, there are devices that will give you visual alerts, or this device, which is an alarm clock with a bed shaker, will actually shake your bed or your pillow to wake you up. So those are the devices. And I guess the question I have at this point is, does anyone have a question, or would you like to describe the type of problems you're having, even if you're wearing hearing aids or even if you're not wearing hearing aids? Because in either case, some of these devices might be helpful, or even a cochlear implant.
I'd just like to jump in, Lauren, and remind people that text phones are available for your cell phone, for your smartphone. There's several operations out there, in a caption, Olilo. They do the same thing in your smartphone, and you self-certify as being necessary to take it. They're free. The government pays for it. They give you a system phone number to use, which helps them get paid because they can track the usage on it. And you can either give that number to your correspondence, or you can talk to your service provider and get automatic call forwarding from the new number to your regular number. And it's then invisible to other people who call you.
Okay, thanks, Eric. That's in fact a good lead in. I'll just show that area of all the different apps that there are out there. And here is an apps for call processing. You just click on that little click here link, and it will show you, for instance, if you happen to have a caption phone now, recently the caption phone companies have introduced mobile apps.
Yeah.
And here's a picture, for instance, I think this might be the mobile app for caption call. For Windows and Mac users, there are a couple that work on Windows as well, and on Macs. And you can click here to find out more. Eric talked about InnoCaption. And here's an example of what that screen might look like in InnoCaption. I'm just going to click on InnoCaption itself. Anytime you click on something highlighted in orange, it will take you a level deeper on the website. So,
Now, some of these services use a third-party transcriptionist or translator. And certain organizations or companies are worried about the privacy factor. The ones for the cell phone that I know about are all based on artificial intelligence.
I think InnoCaption now uses some live transcribes as well.
You may have a choice,
Yeah.
but I use an outfit called Olilo, O-L-E-L-O, and I like it because it shows in text both sides of the conversation. So it's easy for you to judge how accurately the translation is. And it gives you a chance to make any elaborations or corrections on a timely basis.
That's a good point, Eric. I think we should add Olilo to this page right below InnoCaption, or above it or somewhere. Okay, so that's all I wanted to show you about that. I'm going to go back here to the main page again. I'm just clicking the back arrow button. Things are slow when we're showing things through Zoom, and we're showing the websites through Zoom.
You know, Lauren, what you're doing, when you're going back, the other night, a phone call came in it was a message that we were listening to. And we could not, Scott nor our son nor I could get the phone number, or it was going, the fellow was kind of mumbling and going fast. Our son's fiance came in with her cell phone and had it on an app that recorded what he was saying. And so we just looked at the app and we could see the number.
Oh, that's great.
And gosh, I thought that was just pretty interesting for those of us who have a hard time hearing messages. If we put that live transcribed or whatever up to the message, it'll write it out.
No, it's an amazing app, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I see that Dan is joining us, or has been.
Yes.
Hi, Dan.
Hey, how are you? I'm here.
Hey.
Onward.
So Dan, we just talked through the introduction to the virtual demo center. And there really haven't been any questions yet. So one thing I'd like to do is, this might raise a few questions. I'd like to talk about a device. I think I did at the last demo center too, at virtual demo center meeting. I talked about this device a little bit. A number of us here in the chapter have ordered it, and including me. I think Art, you have too. And anyway, this is a new product from Be Here. And the interesting thing about this, like some of their other headset products, is that, well, you can use this with a set of headphones, or you can use it with a neck loop if you have hearing aids with a telecoil. But you would most likely use it if you don't wear hearing aids at all, and you'd wear a headset. Because what this thing will do, it has an app associated with it. It'll give you a hearing screening exam, similar to what an audiologist does, but not nearly as complete. From that, it will determine what your hearing loss deficit or your hearing deficit is, and it will automatically boost the frequencies in that range. So for people with moderate hearing loss, mild hearing loss, even me with on the verge of a severe hearing loss, I found that their products work really very well for me. So we haven't received it yet. It's an Israeli company, and I reported to them that they have a little trouble with their website because I expect to see price in dollars, and I think that's shekels. Other times I see the price in euros. I think if I experimented with this, if I press the shop now button, I think then I will get all dollars. So I'll try that and see what happens. I'm curious. Yeah, now we get dollars. So when I ordered this, they were having a what do they call it? A pre-introductory price of $99. It looks like now they might have actually lowered their original $189 price to $129. So, you know, the point is and Art's been making this point repeatedly, is that, you know, people can't necessarily afford hearing aids. Not everybody can. And for those who don't, you know, there's now not really a reason to sit back and wait, because you can buy some devices that can help you, a number of assisting listening devices that can help you for, you know, a few $100s possibly. And that's one of them. That's just one of them. So let me go back again to the main screen.
I assume you cannot use that if you don't have Bluetooth in your hearing aid.
No, you can use it. But if you have hearing aids, the test that it gives you really wouldn't be of much use, because you don't want to double up your hearing compensation.
Okay.
You're already getting them from your hearing aids. But yes, Sue, you could use that just out of the box, plug your neck loop into it, and you know, you're sitting around a table. You can actually point that thing at somebody around the table, and it will single out their voice pretty well. there is I'm trying to think, but there's a video of the chapter meeting. I think it was one of the chapter meetings in California, and they recorded it. It was the director of product development of this company explaining how it works and actually demonstrating it. And I was amazed. She had it, she was using it for her audio during that meeting. And she picked it up and showed it to us. And it was pointed at her. And then she turned it around so it was pointed away from her. And her voice really decreased a lot. So I think it's quite good at singling out voices.
Maybe we could have her be one of our program speakers while we're still on Zoom.
Well, I think we could do that. It means she has to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning, but she
Oh,
doesn't.
that's right.
She looked a little tired when she was giving a presentation, but I'm sure she'd be happy to do it.
Just as a point of interest, so a lot of the objections or comments to the OTC regulations have to do with labeling. And there's concern that consumers know in advance that OTC devices may not have Bluetooth, may not have T-coils.
Mm.
Both of those are pretty vital these days.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, even if you want to watch television, you need Bluetooth.
Well, that, or if you have older hearing aids, you need a device like a Compilot, or what, I forget what Widex calls theirs. Basically, it looks like what Sue's wearing around her neck, but it's specific to that person's hearing aids.
I don't have Bluetooth, but I have telecoils. And in
Yeah.
our living room, we have a loop around the living room. It's actually on the ceiling of the floor, or the ceiling of our basement underneath the living room. And so I don't have Bluetooth, but I can hear it, and it's connected into the TV.
And I don't have a loop in my living room, but I do have a TV Link, which is a device from Phonak. And I have Phonak hearing aids, and I've got the Compilot. So they all work together. And the device that connects to the TV broadcasts to the Compilot. And then it automatically turns on my telecoil so I can hear.
Yeah.
Is that portable? Can you use it on any television?
Well, I would say with some exceptions, yes. You have to have an output on the television, number one, and then it has to be the right kind. But those are details we can talk about separately.
Okay.
But yeah, I would say you could, right?
I'm thinking like if you were traveling and you were staying in a hotel,
Oh, yeah.
and you couldn't hear the TV, could you take what you're talking about with you?
Absolutely, yes.
I've got a Phonak TV connector, similar to what Lauren's talking about. And the problem I had with it is that, of course, you have to plug it into power. And once it engages, if my wife talks, I gotta go into my app and fiddle around to change the settings so I can hear. So what I did is I got onto Amazon and I found a power block that has a remote control, $10. So now I plug the TV connector into this little power block, and I can turn the power on and off with one click and hear the misses. It works great.
Great. Wow.
That's interesting, Eric. On my older Phonaks, using the Compilot, I can choose a setting where I hear both through the hearing aids and from the TV Link.
Yeah.
Are you sure you can't do that with yours?
Yeah, my app allows me to adjust the balance between surroundings and the TV. But again, I got to go into my phone and horse around to set that. Whereas with this device, I just one click on it.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's maybe one downside of some of the newer technologies is that you no longer have buttons you can push.
Right.
That's true. That's one reason why I decided not to get Phonak again, because they don't use the Compilot anymore. And they wouldn't, they said you couldn't use the Roger pen or anything.
Right.
So, and they did have this little device which you could use, but I just liked the Compilot so well. And I was able, when I got to Oticon hearing aids, I was able to get this MyLink, and you still use my Roger pen with my Oticon hearing aids.
Okay. Yeah, those are the human factors that we tend to sort of gloss over, and we look at the technology and say, wow, isn't this great? But I found that too. I had an app, I had a different set of hearing aids too. And if I wanted to make a change, I had to go into the app and then
Yeah.
find out where it was, press the button, and I got tired of doing that. I just like to press a button on my hearing aids.
Well,
I wish, for instance, that I had a button to push for T-Quil, but I gotta go into the app and select the program.
Yeah.
And sometimes I get this when I'm doing it at church, you know?
well, I found that the Oticon, the link to your phone works a lot easier with Oticon than it did with the Phonak phone. And besides, Oticon came with a little manual, and with Phonak, it was all on the screen. So I think that's one thing you have to think about when you're getting hearing aids.
It sounds like you're pretty happy with your Oticon hearing aids, right?
Yes, I'm happy with them. Yeah.
Good to know.
It seems to me that the developers are assuming that people are becoming more and more comfortable with technology because they keep heaping more on it just because they can, not because it's necessary. But it's a little concerning that you have to be a geek to understand some of the new stuff that's coming out.
True. That's true.
Art, did you have your hand up?
No, I was just agreeing with Barbara.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
I have new Oticons and I love them.
Yeah.
They're very good.
Yeah. Very good.
But what Eric said about developers, that's true. The engineers, once they get some new technology that they can play with, they can't stop playing with it, and they develop all this stuff, most of which consumers can't use. The average consumer uses 2 or 3 or 4 things, and there might be 15 out there that they can use. That's what we ran into with digital switches. They put all these features on them, and people couldn't absorb how the hell they had all this stuff or how to use it. You know, it's like just like your car. There's a lot of stuff in cars today that people don't even realize they have.
It's true.
But it's just this nature of developers.
I wonder how many accidents are being caused by people fiddling with safety devices in their car while they're going.
Probably true.
Or trying to control their climate control system.
Yes. You know, may I just interrupt for 1 second and say, I just see Laura Arney has just joined us. And it's the first time we've seen her since she's been out of the hospital. And how good it is to see her.
Hey, Laura.
How are you doing, Laura?
I am doing very well. In fact, today I got my sea legs back, or whatever, my land legs. And obviously I totally missed the first of the program. And so I was trying to sneak in quietly so nobody would notice, but I guess you fooled me.
Oh, well, we're also happy to see you. Yeah, so glad to know you're doing so well. Yes. Just you could not have joined us without us acknowledging that you're home from the hospital and you're doing it looks like you're doing great. So thank you for joining today.
Yesterday, I think it was yesterday was my last antibiotic pill, and I'm just really thrilled to be over with that because they're nauseating.
You're looking great.
Thank you.
Can we jump back to the SD question about the little labels you can put on your car? While you guys were talking, I checked the website and they do have one that says hard of hearing instead of hearing impaired. They have a whole bunch of them. So
Can you say again what the name of that is?
it's the SDESTY.com. The website that has a lot of homegrown type product on it, like stuff that people make at home.
STY. Thank you.
ETSY. And if you go in, put in a search on hearing impaired, and you'll see a whole bunch of stuff that says hearing impaired. But if you look around, you'll find one with hard of hearing.
Okay.
So I'm not sure, we're not getting any questions or many. I'm not sure where we should go next with this.
Lauren, why don't you stop sharing your screen? So I have something that answers a question that was asked earlier.
Okay,
Oh,
That's good.
oh no, that one's worded a little different. This one says ask for a receiver.
yes. Of course, if we have them printed, we would not want to be promoting any one specific company.
No, we wouldn't want to do that.
Yeah, the only concern is that one says, please ask for a receiver, which may or may not be needed.
Yeah, where's the one with it? If we find one with a T on it. You know, a T down in the bottom of where the blue is, bottom corner. And you're muted, Charlie. Charlie, you're muted. Charlie,
You're muted, Charlie.
I'm sorry, my space bar doesn't seem to unmute me. There's one.
but it doesn't have the T.
I know.
This is what I used in the hospital and put it on the bulletin board. And it says international symbol for hearing loss. So it's a dark green and it has the ear and the line going through it. Let's see. And the back of it says, this came from SHHH, and then also the Rochester chapter of SHHH. So this is
It's an ancient one. That's an antique. Hold on to it.
Yeah.
well,
Vintage.
I think I told you that, or somebody that at the hospital they had a 8.5 by 11 piece of paper that just had the words patient is hard of hearing, I think. And then I put this on the same bulletin board. However, all the doctors that came in, all the nurses had their back to the board and faced the bed. So they personally, I don't know if anybody ever actually saw it, except I pointed it out.
My wife was recently in Unity, and I went in with her, and they made me change my mask. I had a very high quality mask, and they gave me a cheap paper one. Okay, but there was no provision there for folks with hearing loss, and all the doctors and nurses were wearing this mask, and I couldn't understand.
Yeah.
So I got their attention, but so they couldn't hear me. And they got the point. After a while, they started dropping their masks.
Yeah,
Let me add one thing real quick here I can show you. If you go to the ADA itself, it shows just this
Wow.
single sign. And then it does say that each agency is allowed to put their own text underneath it.
Yes.
So you start out, and that included putting the T on some of these.
Or in some cases, you put an FM on there.
Oh.
Yes,
so what Barb was talking about with the education committee was getting to churches with new placards that point out they have a loop. And we do have a loop sign out at the printers at Advanced Quick Print, but we want to play with the wording and
Yes.
the eyes. So Dan, I think Dan was working with that with Michelle. And once we land on something, we'll probably get some printed up and go from there.
Well, let's make sure. Yeah, I talked to Michelle too about that. And we need to make sure that it includes both hearing aids and cochlear implants. And that was for the houses of worship. That's what we wanted to at the last DNO meeting.
Well, don't people,
Charlie,
people with cochlear implants also have hearing aids, right?
Not necessarily.
Oh, I thought they had to have a hearing aid to attach to the cochlear implant inside.
Well, they've got a
Recoil.
they got a processor, it looks like a hearing aid, but that's what drives the thing that attaches to their head.
Yeah.
Charlie, send me that link if you would, please.
send you with that what?
That link of the ADA link.
Oh,
with the-
okay, well, that's just a company. Yeah, I'll get it for you.
Thanks.
What about HLAA? Do they have, does the national office have a logo card with the appropriate language?
But I can probably create one. So,
We need to know the language of how to include everybody.
send me the link and I will try to create one.
Anybody else have anything to add? We've still got a little more than 5 minutes left. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, my biggest problem lately is is with people who cannot project their voice very well. And I'm struggling with that. You know, somebody will be sitting beside me or across from me, and they just, you know, they have to move so that they're right at my ear. And I have good hearing aids, and I have the ability to turn the volume up, but I really need something in a casual situation that I can just hear them.
No, I had a similar problem. As long as she's lived with this, my wife very often tries to talk to me while she's facing the stove or getting some out of the refrigerator. You know, it sounds to me like she's mumbling, and that's an issue. So I went in recently for my annual checkup with Carolyn Pulio, and she adjusted my hearing aids, the microphones, from being very directional to being more omnidirectional. And that seems to have helped. My hearing hasn't changed, but she changed the sensitivity on my microphones.
Okay, thank you. I guess I was also hoping somebody had like a little microphone like they do, you know, at churches, where the speaker just talks into the microphone and then it's broadcast. But I realize that's a T-switch situation. And I'm trying to come up with, you know, are there microphones that the speaker can wear that help
You have,
project it?
Laura, do you have Bluetooth?
I was showing some folks earlier a gadget that I found on Amazon and on some other sources. But it's a lavalier microphone, rechargeable. It just clips on people's clothing like the preacher.
Okay,
And this little guy plugs into your phone and your phone talks to your hearing aids. So it's just like you're standing next to the person.
yeah, okay, Bluetooth. And what is, and then what, phone,
This
like a
is
cell phone?
it talks to your phone and your phone talks by Bluetooth to your hearing aids.
See, that kind of thing sounds complicated to me. And that's why, you know, I don't reach out and buy all these things, is because the technology, I'm sure if somebody showed it to me, but it's figuring out the technology that is a barrier.
Of course, that's part of what the demo center is for.
Yeah, it'd be
Right.
nice when we're back in person again.
Right.
Laura,
Yep.
please remind me, I think I was searching for one of these products while you were talking, but you have hearing aids in both ears, correct?
I do. And
And they have a telecoil?
yes.
Okay. All right.
And that's another thing, you know, I'm so used to listening without the telecoil that I don't always remember to go find the telecoil on my hearing aids. You know, it just takes a lot of attention to the details. So, and the Bluetooth thing, I just didn't want to get into another technology added to another technology added to the telephone. I mean, that's 3 technologies. You know, you can't put at least I don't think I can access Bluetooth with my hearing aids. So it would be some kind of Bluetooth, some kind of cell phone, and my own hearing aids. And to be able to carry around and, you know, keep track of all that is difficult.
Hey, Laura, do you have, when you talk on the cell phone, can you hear through your hearing aids?
I don't know. And
Okay.
I refuse to let doctors or financial advisors or other people like that call me on the cell phone because I can't hear it.
Okay.
There is a new app I heard about that somebody talking will show up as words like captioning, and I haven't gone through that process of putting it on my cell phone. But
Yeah.
I also do live transcribe, which is very adequate.
You know, Laura, have you tried plugging in your neck loop into your cell phone? If you take the case off, you know, I have just a rubber case on it, but if I take that off, right at the bottom, there's a place where I can plug in my neck loop and then turn on my T switches. Have you tried that?
I don't even know if I have a neck loop.
A base, you know, just a neck loop, the old, you know, a basic one.
I don't think I have a neck loop.
Oh, gal, I could not live without my neck loop.
So
That is
so
connect.
I'm just way behind on technology.
No, you're not. You're doing great. But that is how I hear, that's how I'm hearing this meeting today, is with my neck loop, and it's plugged into the computer, to this laptop. And so thanks to Lauren. Lauren introduced me to this, and Dan introduced me to the extension cord. So I don't have to sit right on top of the computer. But this is just wonderful. I love it.
That sounds like it might be.
Extension cord with a spiral round spring on it, so I can move around, and then it comes very neat on the table.
That sounds like it might be one of the best solutions for Laura.
Yeah,
So does it have a name?
I do. I wouldn't move without my neck loop.
So keep in mind that you're not wearing a normal neck loop. You
Right.
have an amplified
Wait a-
neck loop. That's a very important difference, because usually normal neck loops are not powerful enough to work off of a
this-
cell phone.
This is a.
Now, this is a regular neck loop.
Like gangbusters.
Yes.
This is my regular neck loop that I use to do other things.
It depends on the severity of your hearing loss. You can get an inline amplifier. The neck loop that Sue has a built-in amplifier, but you can buy one separately to amplify a regular neck loop. The only other concern is that if you plan on using the neck loop on your cell phone, you may want to consider getting a built-in mic in the neck loop. Otherwise, your cell phone has got to be somewhere near your mouth for people to understand you clearly for when you talk.
So the microphone is for
Like that?
me?
Well, if I
Some
have the
have-
phone up like this, wouldn't it automatically be right near my mouth?
Yeah, it would be, but why would you put it up to your ear when you have a neck loop?
Well,
plugged
that's
in?
right. Smarty
Yeah.
pants.
So, but your neck loop has a built-in mic.
What-
But not all neck loops have a built-in mic.
So
So
the question again is there a preferred model for my particular problem? And is it what Stu Miller has? Are they two different things?
well, before you buy anything, I would suggest trying to hook up with Charlie or Lauren or myself and grab a neck loop from the demo center and try it out at home. See if it works. If
Yep.
you like it, great. Then, you can get one or refund us or whatever. So it
So
just,
the neck,
Go ahead.
the things at the center, you only try at the center, right?
yeah, but the center isn't open. So I
Laura?
might be overstepping
Yeah.
myself saying this, but we have neck loop not in use. So if somebody wants to try one, I don't see a problem with,
Hey,
especially
hey,
an active member like you.
Hey, remember when we did that presentation at Penfield Library a while back?
Yeah.
I picked up a neck loop and I have it here in my house. I haven't gone back to return it because I thought we were going to other libraries soon.
Okay.
Well, I've got that, Laura, and I also have an amplifier that I bought for myself that you could use and test it out, see how it works.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So
Oh,
get in,
Headphone amplifiers, you can put them in one.
so get in
Yeah.
touch with me and we can coordinate to transfer that over to you. All right?
Lauren, I'm just curious, is it one like this, or is it just a plain neck loop that you have at the
It's a
house?
plain neck loop.
Okay.
Yeah, but I have that little amplifier. You're familiar with it, right? It's like the size of a pack of cigarettes, but thinner. And the neck loop plugs into that, and then your cell phone plugs into that as well.
And then
And you
why
wouldn't have to change the batteries now. I carry AAA batteries with me wherever I go to use this because I need to change the batteries often.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I assume with the kind that you're talking about, and Dan, you've mentioned this several times, but the power, what is it, a power pack?
It's rechargeable. Yeah.
Rechargeable.
It's rechargeable, yeah. So Laura, that would be the best from what from the guys are saying.
There are advantages and disadvantages, but that would work.
Plug it into your laptop, it stays charged. It's worth a try. I've been doing a lot of workplace toolkit with people that are still working, trying to hear at work. And the neck loop, I got to say, by far, just the knowledge and being able to use a neck loop opens up probably the most doors.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah, if you've never experienced one before, Laura, you're gonna really be surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, I've had a participant start crying and couldn't believe it. So yeah. All right.
Dan,
Thank you.
repeat that because we did not hear that last line.
I've had a participant where I basically handed off the toolkit, and then we set up a Zoom meeting, and she was talking to me through her loudspeakers, and her office was upset with her. She'd have to be in a separate room and close her door, and sometimes they would even knock on her door to tell her to turn her speakers down. And I've introduced her to the neck loop, and she just put her hands up on her face and she started to cry. She couldn't believe how well she could hear, and it wasn't going to interrupt her employees or co-workers anymore. I'm just telling you, the neck loop, if you can establish that connection, it's probably one of the best technology. Really, it's easy to use and it's just wonderful. And it's so versatile. I mean, you can use it everywhere. You can use it with your cell phone and everything. You just gotta get started.
I put together a wireless rig for one of our members. It has a neck loop and she wears it all the time.
Yeah.
Folks, it's well past 1 o'clock. I've still got the recording going. What would you want to stay on, or are we pretty much finished today?
I think we're pretty much done, at least from my perspective.
Yeah.
This group is great. I can't believe I've been a member in the chapter for so long, and I still always learn so much when I come into the demo center sessions. I'm learning more. I'm learning more through these virtual demo center sessions than I do when I actually go to the live one. Because as I can see everybody and the conversation is just great. So you are all just wonderful to have put this together. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
And before we sign off, Laura, I just want to tell you that this session was recorded. And if you want to watch it again, you just go to our website. There's a button that says videos.
Thank you.
It should be up on the website by the end of the day today.
Thank you.
Laura, I'll send you an email with my phone number.
Thank you. Thank you. I do want to ask, are we, I think it was Loren that brought it up. Are we trying to interact with a library again for those demos, or what was that decision?
Yeah, we're just holding off until this Omicron surge ends, because the libraries, there's two things. One, the library system is not to have meetings going on like this, and two, nobody's signing up for them anyhow. So we're just going to wait till the surge settles down, and then we'll be going again.
Okay.
And we're getting a lot of interest from various libraries. We're being contacted. They want to get things lined up. So we'll be busy during the late spring and summer, I'm sure.
That sounds great.
And Laura, hopefully you'll be at the next DNL meeting on the first Thursday in February. Won't be too long.
You are absolutely right.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Charlie, for being the host. And thanks, Lauren, for bringing this out.